So I've got some questions from online. So this one comes from PJ Katakutsin. He says, Matt, please tell me that you got to use your physics background in comics writing and stuff.
Yes, there's a book I write called Think Tank, and there's another book I'm doing now, which I just finished, called Stairway. There's a book I'm doing called The Clock, and there's a book, what's the other one I did with science? The one I did with Linda Sedgwick, Wildfire. And these are very heavy science books, and so much so that I think that they have a more limited audience, because I think I try to make it accessible to everyone, but I do write a line of books that are very science heavy. Think Tank is probably the biggest one that has the biggest following, and in the back of each one of those books I do a science class where I try to explain some of the concepts. So, you know, when I mentioned earlier about 96, 97, when Rob's Awesome Comics stopped publishing, I actually thought briefly about going back into the military industrial complex and trying to use my physics background. And what I realized is, having been out of that for 4 years, I was lost. And I realized all the people that I had grown with had sort of moved on, and they were doing these other things, and it was one of these weird things where I was like, I'd have to start over. I'd be 4 or 5 years behind my peers, and it just felt weird. And there was a lot of things that, like, my dissertation had been disproved, all these sort of things I had done, and so it was frustrating, you know. And I realized that I was going to have a hard time trying to break back into that field, and I decided to try to do Lady Pendragon. And then when that was successful, I did 18 issues.
Wow.
Which is pretty good back then.
Yeah, I mean, 18 issues is great now.
And then it was during the middle of that run that Top Cow hired me.